Lionel Richie, a career-spanning celebration from his days with the Commodores to topping the charts solo. Lionel Richie's journey began almost by accident. It started out as a joke, honestly. Now, with 5 decades of music, stories, and success behind him, Richie reflects on the ride. When they say 40, 50 years. That's wild. He's sharing the tales behind the music. I was just goofing off one night, and how he brought together some of the biggest stars in music history. We were just kids. Pulling it off felt impossible. Plus, we take a look at his life offstage, his family, his humor, and the wisdom he's picked up along the way. If you've got kids, you're only cool when you leave the house. This is E.T. Vault Unlocked, Lionel Richie A story. Never fully told, now we're celebrating all night long with one of the best-selling artists in history. An R&B icon and hitmaker, through and through. Welcome to Entertainment Tonight, on this Juneteenth holiday, just a day before Lionel's 76th birthday. And we've been by his side every step of his career. He's proven time and again Lionel is, and always will be, an American idol. Music, it's my birthday again. As the elder on American Idol, Lionel offers more than judgment. It's not about judging, it's about inspiring. And while the former Commodore has sold over 125 million records, his humility stands out most. I tell the young ones, Sif, you don't like attention, don't get famous. Because if you're lucky, that's your life. I just happen to love it. Richie's signature, writing about love and connection. I'm saying something timeless. I love you, and I want you. To know it? You turned easy into your song. Could Lionel have made it in today's music competition shows? I'd have died from embarrassment. The Commodores got rejected dozens of times. Imagine 8 or 10 million people watching. And someone says, you don't have what it takes. I'd have passed out right there. He never thought he'd make it in music. But after the Commodores signed with Motown in 1972, the grueling schedule sparked creativity. They handed us a 366-day calendar. Every day was booked. I started writing. Why put chains on me? I've paid my dues. People wanted me to be something I wasn't. I was unhappy pretending. The song started as Leave Me Alone, but I knew I had to make it work, so I turned it into something universal. That story, never told before. Back then, Lionel wasn't even the frontman, he played saxophone. It started as a joke. I was in college, looking at my accounting and marketing grades, thinking, this can't be my life. The Commodores released Machine Gun in 1974. And over the next 8 years, made musical history. I never thought I'd leave the group. It was painful, but I needed to grow. I worked on a song with Kenny Rogers that opened the door. Lady was a hit. Kenny told the crowd, I didn't do this alone. Lionel Richie wrote it. Suddenly, everyone wanted a song from me. The media, not always kind. At concerts, they'd only mention me, not the band. That caused friction. Then came 1981's Endless Love, a duet with Diana Ross for the film of the same name. It began as an instrumental. Then they said, we need a female voice, how about Diana Ross? That added pressure. In 1982, Richie went solo. We were there for every hit from the start. Music, what I love about Hello is that it's for all the people who were invisible in school. I was that guy. And dancing on the ceiling. I was just being silly one night. I overheard someone say, man, I danced on the ceiling. That was it. The rest was fate. One of his biggest contributions. Co-writing We Are the World with Michael Jackson in 1985, right after hosting and winning 6 American Music Awards. It makes me emotional. We were all so young. Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, Bob Dylan. It felt impossible, but we did it. And Then came Tuskegee, his 2012 country album of duets. I wondered, how do I break into country? But I didn't have to. The songs were already there. I just had to show up. With stars like Blake Shelton, Willie Nelson, Jennifer Nettles, Little Big Town, and Jason Aldean worked. You don't write that many hits without collecting a few awards. The Grammy goes to Lionel Richie. It still doesn't feel real. Sometimes I scream out loud in the morning, but it feels great. He has 4 Grammys, 18 AMAs, a BET Lifetime Achievement Award, a Golden Globe, and an Oscar. I used to keep them in the bathroom. People asked why. I didn't put them on display, but I like seeing them to remind myself I'm doing okay. Because in this business, you're only as good as your last hit. By 1986, Lionel needed a break. He called it self-imposed exile. My dad passed. I went through a divorce, and a close friend died of AIDS. Those losses took time to process. Lionel took care of his father for 3 years, until he passed in 1990. The grief led to depression, just 3 years later. He and Brenda Harvey divorced after nearly 2 decades of marriage. They were college sweethearts and adopted Nicole Richie. Together, Brenda co-wrote some of Lionel's early hits. Being married to a star isn't easy. You just want a quiet dinner. And someone stops you to talk about a song, and that turns into a whole evening. In the 1990s, Lionel had 4 surgeries on his throat. It would be a decade before he made his comeback, and we were there. They say great songs come from pain. I don't want more pain, but it helped shape this album. That was 29 years ago. Today, Lionel says what he's proudest of is simple. My kids and the fact that I made it this far. 40 or 50 years. That's incredible. I've been blessed. He even joked with Jimmy Fallon in a Hello parody. Turns out, comedy comes naturally. To Lionel, music's his first love, but acting is his Hollywood side gig. Any film plans? Yes, just waiting on the right moment. That was 1984. He didn't make his film debut until 1996's The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington. I thought they were joking, but Denzel said, "Give it a shot." I did, and it worked. Lionel's also popped up in cameos over the years. In 2001, he appeared on The Young and the Restless. When they asked, I said, "Are you kidding?" Absolutely. Then in 2022, he played himself in Foo Fighters' horror comedy Studio 666. Writers. Block happens, but that's my song. Get your own. As for dancing, his kids aren't fans. They tell me, please stop. With Nicole, Miles, Atay, and Sophia, Lionel says fatherhood is his biggest joy. They've worn me out, but I love it. Nicole, adopted at 9. Faced challenges, public struggles with substance use and body image, but Lionel stood by her. I was always ready to step in. She'd say, it's the pressure. And I get it, I didn't have cameras following me everywhere. Nicole remembers, he's always upbeat. So when he got serious with me, listened. Lionel is close with Miles 31 and Sophia 26. His children with second ex-wife, Diane Alexander. He's wise. I go to him for everything. And now, it's a grandfather too. Nicole has 2 kids, and Sophia welcomed daughter Eloise last year. What do they call me? Papa. Grandpa's too much. Papa's just right. He's also been with longtime partner Lisa Parigi for over a decade. She's nearly 40 years younger. Atiza, but their bond is strong. She keeps me grounded. It's a rare kind of love where you feel safe. He said it best when he accepted the Gershwin Prize from the Library of Congress. In 2022, love is always the answer. Before we go, some fun facts you might not know. Lionel was shy growing up. I came off confident. He once planned to be an Episcopal priest, then he joined the Commodores. Sure, Here's a professional paraphrased version of your transcript, following your guidelines closely. They once told Lionel, "There are two kinds of ministers, those who speak in small churches and those who reach the masses." He often reflects on that line, realizing it likely describes his own path today. And here's something surprising: one of Lionel's closest friends is King Charles. He even performed at the king's coronation celebration. "We've been friends for a long time. I've known him for years. We've done a lot together through the Prince's Trust. As chairman of the board, I'm just happy to be involved. As for his secret to staying youthful, all I can say is, the best thing you can do is eat well." That's it: cardio, healthy eating, and don't let your kids wear you out.